Representative Thomas Massie decides to snap at Congress, okay? Because let's face it, folks, you want to know why things never get done. Here's the thing, and there are certain policies and discussions that both Democrats and Republicans do, but honestly, this guy, while he is a Republican, again, I'm not a fan of the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. He's one of the few people to really speak the truth, and that is, all of your favorite elected officials, not only are they doing insider trading, but they also got themselves an APAC bad sitter. Because, all of our politicians are the bad. They're the bad. They're the bad. And they have APAC handlers. So let's talk about this disaster that's called Congress, okay? And Congress is a clown show. And I wish it wasn't, but it is.
And I would call on Mr. Massie.
Can we be honest with the American people about what's going on here? This is political theater. I'm going to call out both sides right here. It's all posturing. It's fake fighting. We all know where it ends up. This is Groundhog Day. I don't care if the Democrat is the speaker or Republican is the speaker. We always get a CR in September, and then we get an omnibus. Sometimes there's a twist on that. We might get the omnibus before Christmas, but if we're not good, it comes after Christmas. But that's what's going to happen. And in the meantime, it's political theater. We've got it's good theater. We've got great writers. I wish they'd just come up with a new plot. It's the same plot every fiscal year. What should we be doing? It's already been discussed. We should have done 12 separate bills. But again, whether Democrats are in control or Republicans are in control, we never do the 12 separate bills. Why do we always spend at least as much as we did last year, and why do we never cut spending? It's because Democrats want to grow the welfare state and Republicans want to grow the military-industrial complex. And we're eventually going to get together.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong on that. And by the way, when we talk about welfare, let's be clear. It's going to be corporate welfare, okay? Again, the American people are being dismissed and ignored. And Democrats, you're not helping yourselves out too, because look, there's a crisis, especially happening here in the sanctuary cities like Chicago. My city is going broke. Now, I get it. A lot of these migrants, the reason why there's a migrant crisis in the beginning is because of what's happening of the policies in Central and South America, the war on drugs, the rise of sanctions, dictators, and everything else. But this is a powder keg that's ready to blow. And then, of course, we have money to bail out banks, and we have money for the military-industrial complex. We have money for forever wars. The establishment is getting what it wants and is sacrificing the people. This is how governments and nations and empires die. We've seen this before. It's nothing new. It's just the first time for us.
And they're both going to go up. I guarantee it. And both parties are just fine letting the bureaucrats do their thing, which should be our thing, according to Article 1, Section 8 in the Constitution. We are empowered with these things. Most important of the things we do is the funding, and that's the big lever we have. I've sat through now almost 2 years of hearings in this Congress where we've exposed lies at the CDC, shortcuts at the FDA, unconstitutional gun bans at the ATF, over-prosecution of January 6ers at the DOJ, targeting common citizens at the FBI, spying by the NSA, illegal mandates for livestock by the USDA, targeting plant vaccine or transgenic plant vaccine at the NSF, and censorship, the censorship industrial complex at the end of which the NSF is part of. Automobile kill switch at the DOT. Now, these are all things I think most Democrats are just fine with, this kind of totalitarian state that the bureaucrats are pushing on us.
Now, be clear, that's Democratic politicians, okay? Now, most liberal voters are probably still hypnotized into thinking that Democrats are their friends. They're not. We got to break away from both parties. Right now, we are in an oligarchy, okay? We have a system in which the rich and dynastic families have perfected neo-feudalism in this liberal system that is slowly choking the life out of us.
But Republicans at least pretend to be against these things. But what are we going to do this September? We're going to fund every freaking one of those things that we have exposed. That is the tool that we have, is the funding. Why are we funding things we don't like? We don't have to. Well, it's because we're addicted to spending. And this doesn't do anything about the addiction at all. So let me touch on one point too here that I think is important. Is, a couple years ago, or a summer and a half ago, I suppose now, we did something where we allowed the debt limit to be increased. But as a condition of that, we said, if you do a CR that lasts past April 30th, everything's going to get cut 1%. And that, to me, seemed like at least a little tinge of fiscal responsibility was creeping in. But now I notice that this CR, instead of going 1 year and giving us time to do the 12 appropriations bills, is going to go 6 months. Now, let me tell you.
Hold on. Mastermind Hour, this is for you. And actually, I'm going to be on his show tomorrow, so be sure to check it out. But might as well face it, you're addicted to pork. That's right. Nothing but pork in Washington, D.C. So much pork there, they're drowning in it. And it's not the fun pork for ham sandwiches or bacon, lettuce, tomato sandwiches or anything of that nature. It's pork that's slowly suffocating the American people. So, yeah, I know. Isn't that great? But why do they have to name it after something that's so delicious?
What's going to happen because this goes 6 months. Number one, it ends in March 28th, on March 28th. Well, the automatic cuts happen on April 30th if the CR went past that. So that is exactly why the speaker chose a 6-month CR, is so we don't have even the chance, a threat.
By the way, Benny Acosta hitting the nail on the head. The stripper at the club doesn't really like you. I know. Neither do the parties. Hey, man. Occasionally do run into that person, be like, dude, bro, she really likes me. No, she doesn't. She don't like you. She don't like you. She don't like you. Hey, my U.S. Senator and my U.S. Representative thanked me for donating $3 to them. I think they like me. No, they don't. Because when the stripper is twerking on the stage and you give her $1, that's what you're supposed to do. But at the end of the day, are you like, wow, this dude gave me $1? No. She's like, all right, give me the money. Same with the politicians. They don't like you either. Benny Acosta, you're number one in my book. Just remember, folks, Salty Digital Live. No, Kit, she loves me. You know what? Maybe you might be that lucky guy. And if you do, buddy, right off into the sunset.
To this town, it's a threat of a 1% cut. We don't want to even this.
BW, I'm not going to argue with you there. You're kind of getting something, kind of, but it's still a tease.
It's like T-ball. The 1% cut is on the tee, and Republicans won't even swing at it. So instead, we're going to do a 6-month CR instead of a 1-year CR. That sets up another crisis next spring where we can do another pretend fight sometime around March. And that fight it'll be the same fight regardless of who wins the presidency and who's in charge of the Senate and the House. And we're basically going to get pretty much the same result. But that's 6 months from now. In the meantime, we can kick the can down the road. All of these things that we've exposed and all of these hearings are going to continue to get funded. But wait, there's a bright, shiny object on this CR. I've never seen one of these. I have never seen a bright, shiny object attached to one of these must-pass bills. Oh, wait, no. It actually happens. There always is a bright, shiny object, a bauble, if you will. A little something to get excited about. This SAVE Act, it's going to save us all, right? And by the way, this is good political theater. I do like this part of it, that we're going to see almost every Democrat cast a vote so that illegals can vote in our elections. I mean, that's pretty clever on the part of our speaker to set that up, make you all take that vote. But here's what he's going to do after you take that vote. He's going to take it off. The bright, shiny object goes away. It's Lucy and the football again. And the American public is all revved up. Yeah, we're going to get to save it. We're going to save these elections. We're going to stop the illegals from voting. Really? How are you going to do that in like 6 weeks? I think they're already registered if they're going to vote. Some of them probably already voted. This SAVE Act ain't going to save anything. And particularly because it ain't ever going to become law. It's a false promise to get all the Republicans half pregnant. And then you're going
Yeah, but see, when they get half pregnant, they got to talk about having the baby.
to get fully pregnant by the end of September when you vote for this CR. That is not going to have this. I mean, I hate to break this to you. I mean, the Democrats already know this. I'm not telling you anything special. I hate to break it to the Republicans. You ain't getting the SAVE Act. It is not going to stay on this bill. Why? Because we're going to cave. We're going to cave. Is it a fight worth having? Absolutely, it's a fight worth having. Make those Democrats say they want illegals to vote. Make them take that vote as many times as you can. And then make them go to the ballot box in November. But that's what it is. It's political theater, folks. We all know where it ends up. We've seen it. I've been here 12 years. I've seen it 12 times. I refuse to be a thespian in this failure theater. And with that, I yield back.
Nothing you said was wrong. What did he say that was so offensive? He talks about censorship. He talks about the needless spending, the hypocrisy in the theater. You find more convincing and real storylines from ECW, WCW, WWF, and those classic shows, and even now with the recent iteration of WWE. So the thing is, the fact that I could find more truth-telling in fake storylines than in our politicians says a lot, and many of us are waking up to the fact. We don't have a representative democracy. We don't have a constitutional republic. It's a kleptocracy, oligarchy. No matter what you call it, I mean, you, the people, don't have a final say. And our only last real option is citizen ballot initiatives. And I'm going to keep pushing it for as long as I can because ballot initiatives is how things get done. So, look, maybe it's over. Maybe it's far too late. But if we don't at least put the effort of trying to at least fight for a better future, nothing will change. And I want to pull up this website again. It's Ballotpedia. These are the states that are currently ballot initiative states or ballot initiative adjacent, where you have an amendment, statute, veto, referendum, or amendum or veto. And got to close that. Hey, get out of the way. So you got Maine, you got Massachusetts, Maryland, Florida, my home state of Illinois, Michigan, Ohio, Mississippi, Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, North and South Dakota, the great state of Montana. You got Idaho, Washington, Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, New Mexico. That's right, there's a New Mexico. You got Arizona, Nevada, Oregon, California, and Alaska. We got to get these other states. Come on, New York State. Come on, Pennsylvania. Texas, Hawaii. Are you serious? Come on, Wisconsin. You're better than that. Minnesota, Iowa, Kansas. Say it ain't so. Indiana. What's wrong with you? We got to get every state needs to become a ballot initiative state. The people have to take back their power. Because it's a rarity in which you see a politician basically tell you the truth. It's all theater in D.C. And the thing is, we got to wake up to the fact the American people aren't being represented. The American people are getting bled dry. And if we don't start pushing back and using our own political power, our own political capital, then we will all fall. It's time for us to wake up. This election, it really won't matter who sits in the White House. What will matter is what we do after election night.